So at 7:30, the recording cuts off, and I'm fine with that because it just cuts off. But I wanted to just take any questions anybody might have. I don't care if the recording is on or not on. I mean, we got the majority of it. So anybody have comments, questions, concerns that you want to talk about? This
Well,
is your time, open
Giselle had a
mic.
couple of questions. She just wanted to ask that, Giselle, you still want to ask that?
You know,
Ask it.
so many things that I was gonna ask. It was about when hiring an inspector, those of you have several working with you, are they 1099 or you have them on W-2?
Okay. So first, let me say to you, because you're a member of Home Inspector Help, all of that information is right there on our site. So Gazelle, everything you want to know, how to recruit, hire, and train a home inspector, how you pay them, the whole thing. But let me give you the answer to it. A lot of home inspectors have used the 1099 approach because they didn't want to pay the FICA. But I will tell you that that's illegal for them to do that. And so what happens is with several home inspectors that we personally know, the IRS has come back and reclassified that payroll, that employees' wages as not 1099 as W-2, and one of them paid $60,000 in penalties, fines, and back payments for that. So you would be very wise if you just went ahead and bit the bullet and make them W-2 income. That's what we always did from the very beginning. We had 13 guys going full-time on a support staff. And the fact of the matter is that it's a little more painful to you up front, but it's no more painful than paying on the back end. And I will tell you that one thing the IRS takes as no joke is payroll tax. If you owe income tax, they'll forgive a portion of it. But if you owe payroll tax, they'll fight you to the death to get every nickel. So I would start off on best practices so you don't have to worry about the IRS reclassifying your payroll, and then you paying those big penalties. So W-2 would be the only way I would go.
And
Now,
then I have another question for those that have the 5-star package. Have you ever heard of Flex Fund? I think it's through ISN or Guardian.
I don't know it. Just tell me what it does. I mean, Brandon, you know it?
Yeah, we've done it a little bit. It's more or less a pay at close ability to do it. The one thing with Guardian, when Guardian's the payroll or the credit card processor through ISN, is they guarantee payment to us, so we don't have to wait till actually closing. We get payment within a couple days, and there's an extra fee. There's like a $50 fee to participate on that transaction. We've tested it out, Giselle, just to tell you, it's not, we just don't, it's not been enough to really make a big difference in our business, honestly.
I know the program now that you said what it is. I didn't recognize it by the name. I would never, ever do that. There's no excuse for you to take money at closing. In God we trust, all else cash.
Plus, I don't have the time, like I told, I think it was Trevor Shin that I spoke to. I don't have the time to call the agent to give me the closing date and the attorney, but they take care of it.
Well, why would you accept money at closing? Why don't you just get your money up front?
Well, that's the point is that.
Tell me that again, Brandon.
Guardian goes ahead and pays us up front, and then it's on Guardian to collect at closing. So if it doesn't
cost, but it costs $50.
Yeah.
Why?
That's the business model.
Yeah, that's a flawed business model in my opinion. If you can, you know what happens is we take your credit card information up front, and what happens is we don't bill you until the inspection is over, and that's that. But I'm not going to pay somebody $50 to do my job, so I wouldn't do it ever. In some states, it's a common practice, and I would just say we'll do it fine for a $75 convenience fee. And I had our clients do it that way.
That you have to pay them.
That's what we do or have done.
So I wouldn't do it.
Giselle, you had one more question too. Today we talked about the admin fee.
Oh yeah, the admin
so actually
fee.
She was talking about and I told her, ask on the call, do inspectors pay a percentage to their inspector or do they pay a flat fee?
So Brandon, how do you pay your people?
And probably Brandon and Keith.
This is the compensation. How do we pay our inspectors?
Flat fee or
Yes,
percentage?
yes.
We're flat fee. I'd like a hourly wage. Well, that's a different conversation, I think.
No,
but
that's the conversation I'm going to. We're gonna pay by the hour from here forward.
Percentage, percentage.
Okay. So your worst producer, your worst team members get a raise when you increase your price.
And they
When you do
do.
percentage, yeah. There's pros and cons. We did in old days, but I'm gonna tell you, the way the mentality is of younger people today, they want to earn a fee, they want to earn an hourly wage. And the fact of the matter is that when you look at some questions is when you make them W-2, do you really owe them a minimum wage? And the answer is there's a very good possibility in certain states they're enforcing that now on home inspectors. They're starting to think about enforcing it on real estate agents. So that's a whole reclassification issue that I'm not going to get into, but I will tell you that if you can get somebody for $20 an hour, $15 an hour, you're the winner, Keith. They're a good inspector. They do the things. It's $20 an hour. Guess what? It's just a job to them. And $20 an hour is still a good wage, and boom, they'll do it. I think we're moving to it.
I've done a couple of straight commission inspectors in the past. And it's much like, they're on their own business and the one I have now, he doesn't really, interact with me that much during the week.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much a self-employed person. He's making X amount of percentage per inspection. And, we like it like that. We know what we're giving up. And he knows the recourse if there's an issue with the inspection, it's on him. So that's what we've developed over the multiple years is best to go with the percentage. And I understand what you're saying. You get more money on the other side. I understand that.
Right. I guess the thing is, it's ultimately, and it always has been, the business owner's decision. But I wrote an article a year or two ago, and we were talking about this issue. And in the article, I developed a list of all of the places where you could recruit home inspectors from. And there are recruiting job boards like Monster. It isn't Monster, but one like that are only for people who want hourly wages. Okay, so these people want to work for hourly wages, and they're in all kind of different categories. But you know what, Keith? What happens is people to own a business, and you and I's days was a big thing. But we saw that Beth and I were watching this program on changing behaviors or whatever it was. Anyway, there was a physician, two physicians. They were both emergency room doctors. And Brandon, you've already told me this too about how you feel. And what they did, we're doctors. That's true. But we work as doctors to support a lifestyle. That's the only reason we work as doctors. Okay, so when you have that kind of mentality, I mean, Brandon told me he owns the home inspection business, so it supports his lifestyle. And you know what? I think that's a great change, because you have less heart attacks and you have less spouses and you have all of these less things because you view it in a completely different manner. So because mentalities have changed in younger generations, why not pay somebody $20 or $25 an hour? They do a great job. They're happy. And if they do a great job, you got a room to give them a bonus. So I'm just saying that your model, Keith, and you and I are easing out. You already said to me that. But we're not, but you're going to need to perpetuate that business on. Okay.
Right.
So how do we do it? So I think that just like the market for real estate agents has been disrupted, it's getting disrupted for home inspectors too.
So how do you know how much to pay, how many hours to pay them? They do one inspection and they drive there, they do the inspection, and they go home. How much time is that?
And they drag their feet.
Well, here's what happens is, and this is how the Postal Service and others work. Ricky, let's say that you know that a home that's less than 5 years old, it's on a slab and it's about 1,800 square feet. Okay, so everything's fairly new, and you know from history of roughly how long it takes you to do it and write the report. Okay, so there's your base of time.
So what is that? What is that base?
I don't know. It depends on every home inspector is going to be different. I mean,
So these guys
that's a problem.
Are they punching an app with their time that they
So
arrived?
wait a minute, now you're talking about details now, not strategy. Okay, details are just details. Okay, but what happens, Keith, is this. How long does it take you to do it?
An hour per thousand.
So you got the
Yeah.
base. What are you even having this
I
conversation with
know
me
what it
about?
is. But
See, you
I'm
tried to
not gonna
sand,
pay
you tried to
him I'm not gonna
sandbag
pay
me
him
right
on
on that
that base.
question. I knew how much time it took for our inspectors. I don't care how much time it takes you individually. Here's what we're going to pay for. It takes the average inspector on this home, this size home, this. Now, if you call me up and say, Ken, there's this, or this, or this, it's going to take a little more time. And then I'll say, how much more time? And then you get paid for that. And then I'm going to go back and get it from the seller, or I've built it in. The buyer. But the fact of the matter is that you know how much time it takes. Hell, you're not new in the business. Now, if you were brand new in the business and you said, "Oh, I don't know how much time it takes," and that'd be a whole different story.
It still doesn't
But,
compute.
How's that?
Well, okay, so there's a 5-year-old house that I've inspected many times where it was lived in very hard, and I couldn't walk 3 feet without having to stop and notate another deficiency.
Okay.
The guy
each
sees
one's
that
gonna be unique.
he's getting he's getting paid for 2 hours worth of work, but there's 3 hours worth of work there.
Right.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
now now he's rushing to get it done. He misses a bunch of crap. I get a phone call 3 weeks later after the client moves in, said your home inspector sucks.
But you've made it.
Hourly is a slippery slope, man.
Yeah, you've made a fallacious assumption there. One of them is that they're going to do a terrible job. But the answer is your procedures. They call you on the phone and talk to you and say, you know what, how much, you ask them, how much longer do you think it's going to take? And they'll say, it's going to take me another 2 hours. And if you trust the person, you'll say, fine, but do the math on it. So let's say that's $400. And I don't know, let's just say Keith pays 40%. So it's a $400 inspection times 0.4. Okay. So there's $160. So if you're paying $20 an hour or $25 an hour, that's $75 where you would have paid 160. So if they took 2 more hours, you still make more money. Okay. So what you
But it's
really told me is you
micromanaging.
can't trust
But
the
to
people
me,
that you've hired. That's pretty bad because
no,
nobody says rush and miss anything. If that's your corporate philosophy, that's the industrial
But
robber
if he
baron
does it
model.
every time, that's gonna be an issue. If he's,
Well, you don't hire
no.
people that you don't trust. You know what happens is we have ways for you to select the right people. We have profiling. We have all kinds of tools that you can use to
Yeah,
select.
I'm just thinking about the process. I'm just
Mhm.
thinking about getting them there, doing good work. Take the time you need based on the home because they're all different, and compensating them accurately for that work, for that commitment to do it right. And I'm not saying commission makes that any easier, but
Sure doesn't.
but
but
the percentage is an average. So you're gonna get the bad ones, you're gonna get the good ones, right? So it averages out versus an hourly pay. And if you think I'm gonna call my client after the fact, say, hey, it's gonna take a little bit longer, I need more money,
You won't
that's not
need
gonna
to.
work.
You won't need to
That's not gonna
because
work. That's not
you've
gonna work.
already billed normally would have paid $160. But let me ask you this. Let's take our cue from the auto industry. So you pull up into the customer service bay and you have something
Mhm.
wrong with your auto. And if they can even replicate the customer complaint, let's say they can actually replicate it, which my experience is they never can, but let's say they can. Okay, so they have an auto mechanic back there and they know on this repair, on average, it takes this amount of time. And that's what they pay the mechanic on. However, if the mechanic comes back to the supervisor and says, there's this in addition to what the service advisor said, guess what? They pay the mechanic more. But they understand that. They have quality people. I mean, Joe Schmaltz was in that business. Gary Monfelli was in that business. Clients that we've had in that industry. Okay, they know it. So they have this figured out. So these details can all be worked out. But I'm just saying that I am in it for you to make more money. I've not reduce your quality and not get less inspections, just make more money. That's a business owner. That's what we do. We make money, more money, mo money.
Well, anyway, real quickly, Giselle and Glenn are thinking of hiring somebody, and they're just trying to, work through how to hire them, how to pay them,
Flat fee. All the training is on the internet, on the website, and
I'll
flat
find
fee,
it.
W-2,
Okay.
and get a man.
my dog's freaking out. what I was gonna say was that Chilton manual's it does a really good job of saying this is how much this job should pay. But those guys already came to work, they already clocked in, and they're gonna go home, 8 hours later. So there's still drive time, there's still some other things to, take into consideration. If I hire somebody, I just want to make sure that I nail that piece of it. And that's why I kind of think about all these different things.
I've been thinking about, because you know what happens is Rick had 13 guys going full time. We had a new construction group, residential resale. I mean, the list went on and on. I mean, we do 1.75 million in sales a year. So I don't think I hadn't thought about it. Don't think there wasn't frustrations with every model. Every model has them. Somebody's late, it's hot, they're in that crawl space. Are they, no matter what you pay them, going to actually crawl all the way to the back and see all these things? Of course they are. You know why? Because they're a quality employee, not because they're getting paid. I mean, that's what part of the job, and this is what pisses me off about home inspectors. You'd ask them to leave the leave behinds so we could get business from the sellers. Well, when I go back and check up on them, they don't know I'm coming. I go back and check up on them 40% of the time. The leave behinds aren't there. Don't think that doesn't affect their performance evaluation. Some of my guys will put their business card at the far end of the crawl space because I'd suit up in that damn crawl space suit and I'd crawl back there to see if they've inspected it and there was their business card.
I got to start doing leave behinds.
Yeah, and a million other things we got to do.
You open up Pandora's box here, man. I'm thinking about all these different things now.
Well, that's my job. Help you get going.
And we can help you with the actual campaign that you'll print for your leave behind.
Anything that you need. We've been in this business forever. So, all right.
I got to go light the grill.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. What are you grilling? Some portobello mushrooms?
We're going to do some hamburgers tonight. We're keeping it real simple.
You guys, I love it. I'd like to throw a big steak on the grill. That just ain't in it for me.
We did that last night.
Cooper.
Yeah. I'm a plant-based eater, Ricky. So that's over for me, man.
Talk to Cooper.
What's up, Cooper?
That's a director of security right there. The old one's
Cooper's
retired.
like, holy crap, get me out of here.
Yeah, really. No question about it.
I got to run, guys. We'll see y'all.
See you, Ricky.
Bye, Ricky. Thanks.
All right, bye.
Anybody got anything else before we call it quits? I mean, Brandon's at a hotel just ready to go party.
Here's Sadie.
Get ready for dinner too.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Okay. So
Hi,
next
Sadie.
week we'll pick up on a different topic and just start trying to brainstorm on a variety of different things and just make you nuttier next week than we made you this week. And knowing Brandon, that'll be possible. He can make you nutty, all the conversation he had. We'll check on Brandon's mustache when he gets next week. We'll see if we got new growth. All right, guys. Well, listen, Gazelle, just Beth will help you get where you need to be, and if she can't help you, I can help you get where you need to be. Okay.
All right.
We
Thanks.
want you to make the right. We want you to make the right hire.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. I'm out of here,
Bye.
folks. I have another meeting to go to, so lucky me.
I'm taking the dogs from here.
All right. See you later.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Keith. Bye, Brandon.
bye
Bill,
now.
thank you.
Bye now.
Gil, I'll see you on another call.
Mhm.